Hello, Veronica. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Well, my name is Kara Williams, and today we're going to conduct an interview. I do want to let you know that this is not a therapy session. This is more just an evaluation of my communication skills, and that this information that you share with me may be used by my instructor and for purpose of my class. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, and I do want to let you know that it will be confidential, information, and I do have a consent form for you to sign. Would you be okay with signing that for me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, Veronica, can you tell me what brings you here today?
I'm having a lot of issues at work. There's a lot of drama between my manager and another associate, and it's completely taking over the whole morale of our vision center. It started out, my manager actually came to our department about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And she's already known about the associate that's always been a problem, and she has a problem with authority. She likes to get in everybody's ear, and she's like negative. So she's always been very derogatory and saying things about my manager, and she doesn't respect her. And it takes a lot out of everybody else that works in the office, and it's basically making the vision center. The vision center is always up in an uproar. A lot of times it's getting taken out on patients because she's very rude and obnoxious towards them. My manager hasn't been doing her job effectively because of it, because she's let her control the vision center. And she's even admitted to me that she's let her control the vision center for 2 years, and she knows something needs to be done. But recently it's just been a lot going on with the scheduling. My manager hasn't been doing our schedules effectively. And so, like, we have schedules that are online for 3 weeks. So, like, she texts all of us at home, which, we're not supposed to have our manager's cell phone number, but she texts us from her cell phone. And a lot of times she's telling us we're supposed to be at work, even though our schedule says we're not. I was off Saturday. I was scheduled off. And even when I saw her on Thursday, she told me, oh, okay, I guess I'll see you Monday. You have a 3-day weekend. And so I get a text from her on Saturday saying that she screwed the schedule up and I was supposed to be at work. So I'm like, this is something that's going on non-stop. Like, for the last few months, everybody's like calling in to get their schedules because they don't have any idea of what they're working, because she's going in and changing people's schedules without their knowledge. Then she's also like relaying personal information about everybody's business to other associates that people are telling her in confidence. And so I think that, it's getting out of hand. I actually want to get somebody else's input on how they would, what they would do and handle the situation about that if that happened to them at their job. I don't really want to get her in trouble, but at the same time, I feel like it's something that needs to be handled because it does affect our vision center. The patients, a lot of times they're not getting taken care of because, she has an associate that's disgruntled, that's always unhappy, derogatory. She feeds negative energy to all the other associates. She can't even work when my manager's not there because of what she's telling other associates about my manager. And so I feel like, it's something that needs to be handled and not just ignored. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, now you say that you have an employee, associate, that's basically having your vision center at work, correct? So you work in the vision center. Just basically having it unorganized and in an uproar. So how does that make you feel personally?
It feels, well, because she's not the manager, so it's like, okay, well, why aren't you handling this situation with her, And you already know that she's been doing this for years. They're the same age, She's supposed to be in medicine. Sometimes we feel like she's not taking her medicine because she's loud, she's obnoxious. Sometimes patients think that she's being aggressive towards them because she's not being very helpful. She doesn't get up and, show them, frames. And, sometimes patients are feeling like, okay, am I being helped? What should I do? And so, like, my manager watches this, But because when she approaches her, she gets loud with her, or she gets attitude with her, I think she kind of just lets it go. And so she's let her control it for so long that I think it's gotten out of hand. I personally think there should be like upper management or somebody that should be also involved with it, if there's something that you're not being able to handle. But instead of her, trying to, go to another manager and saying, hey, this is a problem, she's causing uproar in the vision center, our patients have complained, have wrote letters, given us bad evaluations and bad scores when they call the hotline, about their service and, how they've been taken care of. Instead of ignoring it, I think she needs to, get somebody else involved. And so I feel like, well, what am I supposed to do if my manager is not handling the situation? I'm not going to approach her, because it's not my place. So, but the thing about it is, it's a very good job. I like the job that I'm doing. I like working with patients. But if this continues, I feel like we'll lose a lot of our patients because it's unprofessional. Sometimes they've argued out on the floor in front of patients, and patients are looking like, confused or like, why is this happening? And that's something that should never happen, in office.
Okay, so you're saying that basically she's giving you guys a bad name.
Yes.
She's misrepresenting you
Mm-hmm.
in your business
Mm-hmm.
and your employees.
Yes.
So when this happens and then when this takes place, when this certain employee begins to act like this, what do you do?
A lot of times I try to just, like if I'm working with a patient, I try to ignore it and try to continue doing my job. But I have, went in with my manager on my own, and personally told her, this is unacceptable behavior. This is a room full of patients that were out there when you two were arguing. It didn't look right. It was out of character. And it makes me not want to show up for work because, when I have to come to work and deal with, that type of morale, it's just not good. And you just never know what you're walking into. There's always blow-ups in the office, and that shouldn't, it's something that should have been taken care of. It's something that should have escalated over 2 years and continuing to keep, happening. So, I have already expressed it to my manager. That's why I think, maybe it's time for someone else to be involved, because maybe this employee needs to not be working with us, if she's not going to abide by the rules, if she doesn't respect management, if she doesn't respect everyone else, she doesn't value no one's opinion, she, doesn't like to be told anything, she thinks she knows everything. She's been working with the company for over 20 years, but you always can learn different things. And sometimes people have other talents and other things that they're, they may be better at than you are. But, you can't really approach her with anything, she's not very helpful, and, her whole attitude is, really getting out of control.
Well, I do want to let you know something, Veronica. I do see that you care a lot about your job and about your customers and how the integrity of your company is ran. I do see that, and I see that you're very passionate about that. So my question is for you is, let's focus on some of your strengths. What do you think that you can do to maybe help this employee or just kind of help your work environment be a little bit more positive and a little bit more easy to work in? What do you think as a person, as yourself, what can you do to bring to the table something positive of your own strengths to help the situation?
Well, I always try to at least come in, and a lot of times I take a lot of load off even my manager, because I come in and I make sure that the office is just having a really good flow to it. I greet the patients when they come in. A lot of times I take them back and do all their testing, so that takes a lot of load off of other associates that they don't have to do it. I make sure that all of their insurances are called, everything is ready to go, the office work and everything is ready to go when patients come in, so that when they come out from they're getting their exams with the doctor, then we are able to be there for them to help them, and so that we can give them the best patient experience. I always try to come in with a positive attitude, and so a lot of times when you have a positive attitude, sometimes that makes the office run better too, and everyone else automatically comes in with that same type of energy. So that's what I come in, that's what I bring to the table, just being very positive, just making sure the office flows very well, organizing everything, making sure the files and everything is ready to go for the patients, making sure the insurances are done, making sure that everything's in stock. I do all the ordering, making sure that we have enough frames, enough availability for people to look at. Make sure the contact orders are done right. So that's what I bring. So I take a lot of load off even my manager, just by making sure that I'm helping out around the office, and so that everything's running smooth. It's just that with those two, they butt heads because she does not respect her, and because they're the same age. She's been working there just as long as her, but she doesn't have the management title. So I think she just doesn't, for some reason, that's just something that, she's just not going to listen to her because, she feels like, I know just as much as you do. But it's negativity. And when she feeds that energy to other associates, then it's like, well, they're not doing their jobs sometimes because they're listening to what she's saying instead of listening to my manager. And then sometimes things, blow up in the office because, it's, some people need to, always stay focused on what their job is and not listen to what someone else is telling you that's not management, because that affects the whole office.
Okay. I do appreciate you coming in today, Veronica, and I do see that, there are some issues that maybe need to be resolved at your workplace. And I would love to talk to you again about this matter if you're willing. And so, like I said, I want to thank you for coming in today and talking with me. Now, I do have a volunteer feedback survey that I would like for you to complete, if you would, for me, about how this interview went today and just how, I did on my communication skills and how comfortable you were with talking to me. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, well, I do thank you for your time, Veronica, and I will be seeing you again.
Okay. Thank you.